Let's go over the warm up a little bit. Supine foam roller wall slides. Probably need to roll. I'll be right back. All right, Mandy, so you just need a foam roller. And then something you've kind of done a little bit before. You take your roller, you're gonna lie right along it, your butt touching the very edge, and then your head going all the way to the top. That lower back should be flat. Palms up towards the ceiling, just pull down towards the ground. I'll feel a stretch in your chest there. And keeping your spine touching the roller, you're just gonna slide back and forth, up and away. Just make sure you keep your spine nice and neutral the whole time. So that is your first new one. The rack back breathing we did is the same as last time. The iso marching hip bridge with the kettlebell pull over. Grab a quick kettlebell for you. I know you have some, which is great. We can use those. All right, so with your kettlebell, Mandy, hold up a bridge. So your knee and the kettlebell should be up near each other. As you go to reach the leg back down, the kettlebell goes back, and as you bring the other leg back up, the kettlebell goes up. Just think knee and kettlebell should do the same kind of motion, going away from each other and coming together. Keeping your hips still the whole time. And just alternating your knees. So that is the next new one. The other one, Spider-Man T-spine rotation, you've done before in multiple programs, but I just want to make sure you know what you got. Starting that push-up position, bring your foot next to your pinky. The hand by the foot is the one that reaches underneath, and then all the way up towards the ceiling. Underneath, and all the way up. We'll do all one side, all the other. Spider-Man's, your wall reverse planks. If you remember that, I believe I had it last time. Check. Yeah, do you remember your wall reverse plank from your core last time where you were into the wall and you drag your elbows in and you come off the wall?
I'm sorry, what? I missed that.
Of course. I was your last program, your core exercise.
Wall reverse plank, yeah, where you push up against.
Yeah. So that's just part of your warm-up now.
Okay.
Your next one is a split squat with wall, heel, CE. So you just need a wall or something to put your foot against. Turn it a little bit. CE against the wall. All right. What's going on? Your foot's going to go into the wall. Smashing it as tight as you can. Back foot's down, and you're just going to go up and down. So it's a normal split squat. The only difference is my foot is pushing into the wall the whole time, up and down. Just make sure when you go down, you don't want this heel. A lot of times it'll come off the wall. You got to be smashing it into the wall.
Okay.
It's up and down. So I like to start, I've gotten used to it, but I can start from the top. It's easier in the beginning to just start half kneeling, push your foot into the wall and keep it there, and then go up and down. That's your split squat. Your next one is a hip press plus a W to an overhead reach. Move this back a little bit. It's a bit easier to see me once you see TRX, and I'll give you quite a bit of a headache moving the camera around a lot. We'll take the TRX. You've done a hip press in a row before. It's very similar. This time the palms stay down. You're going to squat down. You're going to come up, and then you're going to do a W. Once you're at the W, you're going to reach overhead. And then back to the W. Return back to the start. And then do it again. If it's a little too easy, just move your feet forward a bit. But that W is going to be a lot harder than you think. Rotating in that position. Reaching, maintaining your posture. Try not to arch into that back. Stay up upright. And then back down.
Okay.
And that's it for the warm-up. Any questions before we move on to that one?
Nope, easy.
All right. So next one is a tall kneeling super band lat pull down press out, and then anti-rotation press. So I'm gonna get you back to this position. I know you said you had a pull-up bar. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your super band you have, and you're gonna take the super band and loop it through itself over your pull-up bar. From there, you're gonna be right underneath your pull-up bar. And you do a pull down all the way to your chest, and then a press out from there, back to your chest, all the way back up. So think like a pull-up. You're setting your shoulders down, you're driving your elbows to your side, pin them, keep your shoulders down as you reach straight out from your chest, throw it back in, and then reset. That's the first core exercise of the 8A. Next one is a half kneeling JC band anti-rotation press. Nothing fancy on this one. Get a band. So any kind of band will work. I said JC bands, those are the long bands with the handles, and I know you said you have those. The knee that's down is the one closest to where you hooked it up, either on your door frame, post, or whatever. It's just a press out, we'll pause, and back in. Make sure your knees and your hips are straight ahead. I just don't want to see somebody go out too far in. Just straight out with a pause, bring it down. And that'll be for 10. Every time you press out, though, hold it for 3 seconds, and then pull it back in. When you do 10, and you have to turn around, the knee that would be down is the one that's closest to where that's mounted again. And your next one is a staggered front superband RDL. Superband or JCN, honestly, it's just as long as you have resistance. The point of it is to have your band out in front of you, hooked a little bit lower, at least hip height. Back up so you already have some tension when your hands are by your hips. That's staggered, right? Let's make it sure. Yes. So, one foot slightly back with the toes down, heel up. You're going to hinge into the hips, push your hips back, and as you do that, your arms are going to reach forward as a little counterbalance. As you go to stand up, you're going to pull your hands right back to your hips. So again, hips out, hands out, drive together. Do it with one foot in the back for 5. Switch your legs, and then do it again. Again, I'm paying a lot of attention to strut, hamstring, and glute. I'm going to pull it in as a stand up. That is your staggered superband front RDL.
Okay.
And then the next one is just a normal kettlebell RDL. So that superband is kind of like a primer to get you to do this heavy weight that's coming up. I'm going to show you this very light one, but you should have a little heavier weight. It's just your kettlebell out in front of you. A little bend in the knees, and then just that hinge in the hip. You can use one kettlebell if you have a heavy enough one. If you want, you can end up using 2 kettlebells or 2 dumbbells, either one, and then you would hinge the hips. As long as you're doing the motion, I don't care really kind of what weight or tool you use, but again, one big one or 2 little ones. Your next one is a half kneeling dumbbell bicep curl into a modified check press. So let me grab 2 dumbbells, and I'll show you that one. I know you still wanted to work on your arms a little bit, so didn't want to neglect those things. And I know you said you wanted to push it a little bit more. Now that we did a little bit of rehab, we can help it a little. So, half kneeling. Hands start by your hips, palms face in. You're going to curl up so your palms face your shoulders. And there you kind of know the next one. It's a modified check press where you go from your chin level up to your eyes, open up to your ears, back to your eyes, down to your chin, and then reset. So that's the same side we're going to do again. Curl all the way up to your shoulders, palms face your shoulders, punch up to eye level, palms still face you. As you rotate though, the palms turn away, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then just reverse the motion. Rotate back in, down, back. You would do 5 with one side, switch your legs 5 with the other side. The limiting factor is probably going to be the curl, which is fine. Let's see, split stance chest stretch. Especially with you with your chest, just be a little careful. You should be okay. It's just nice to open it up, especially after that surgery. But arms are off to the side, holding the TRX big T position. 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, and just lean forward. And just get that chest to stretch out. But be a little ginger to start. You can start a little back, and then as you slowly feel better, you can shimmy forward. You just want to feel that stretch all across here. Again, just don't overdo it. Even though it's been a little bit since your surgery, I just don't want to have any issues with that. Goblet walking lateral lunges. Take kettlebell. Start in front of you. Now you're going to have a little bit of room. You're going to travel. It's a step. You push the hips back, and then step together. I'm going to keep traveling. Step and hinge in the hips. Step together. And you would go 10 to one side, and then you would come back, step and hinge in the hip. Step together. The opposite leg stays nice and straight. The feet are still flat and forward. Loading up into this leg. You're driving through. If you don't have enough to go 10 right, 10 left, you can do like 5 right, come back, or you can even just turn around. As long as you keep getting a total of 10 on each side. Ideally, all in one direction. Next one is a 3-point dumbbell row. Well, you grab a riser. Okay. I can just move you and use the box you're on. All right, so take your hand, put it on a box or a bench, back's nice and straight. Just gonna set your shoulder and row in. If you notice, it's straight in front of my chest first, but as I pull towards my belly. I'm not gonna pull up because I'm gonna take the shoulder. So it's almost like a little J-shape motion, like a swoop towards my belly. Back. All one side for 10, switch, the other side for 10. And this hand on the bench is still important. It's not just holding me up, I'm also actively gripping the box and pushing away from the bench to stabilize my trunk. So that is your other exercise. And you've done it before, but it might feel a little different after the surgery. So I'm still like worried about using weight to the end. Oh, I noticed it. Things are gonna feel tighter, things are gonna move as well as they did. But we'll get there. All right, let's see. Next one is a tall kneeling super band pull apart. Nothing fancy with that one. Please. Oh, both knees down, arms are straight, palms are down. You're gonna break the band by pulling your palms towards each other and then lift it apart. Again, arms stay stiff, pull and rip. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades and the backside together as you pull apart. Just trying to work that backside a bit. All right. Dynamax slams. You said you have a Dynamax ball, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory.
Yep, to swim it. Your pledge planks, hands are close though, feet are wide, and just try to maintain your hip stability. I don't want to rock side to side. And then tall kneeling super band tricep extension. So that same band you had hooked up high. Back up to the shoulder. You're going to kneel down. You're going to pull your elbows to your side. And instead of pressing out, what you're going to do is just go straight down. So keep your elbows pinned. Straighten them out towards your hips and back. You can even kind of lean forward a little bit if you want, as long as you don't choke yourself out with the band. Or just doing that tricep extension. And that'll be for 10. I'm sorry, 20. I was reading the wrong one. 20 of those. So you'll do all 15 slams, all 10 each side for the pledge planks, then the 20 tricep extensions, and then you take a break. Okay. That's a lot of work. Once you finish all 3 of those, that counts as one set. And then you'll end up going from anywhere from 2 to 4 by the end of the program. All right, any questions on A day before we go to B?
No.
Excellent. So a Dynamax Nordic position walkout. So I gotta grab you a Dynamax for this one. I'll make sure you got this.
Okay.
1 sec.
I'm on a conference call. What?
All right, Mandy. So with your Dynamax, doesn't really matter how heavy it is. I just like the lighter ones, easier to get in position. You're gonna put it right behind your legs, on top of like your back, your ankles, and your heels. You're gonna get almost like a push-up position. Move back a little bit. And you're gonna take the ball and you're gonna push it into your butt with your heels. You're gonna squeeze it nice and tight. You should feel a little bit of like tension in your hamstrings. In this push-up position, you wanna make sure you're not arching that lower back. You're tucked into the hips. You're just nice and stiff and neutral. Keeping the pressure on the ball, you're gonna walk out as far as you can before your core breaks or before you lose tension on the ball. Walk yourself back. Walk it out. Walk it back. It is a lot harder than it looks.
Of course, you always are.
That's that one. Your next one is a kneeling side plank with a dumbbell row and a leg lift. And then eventually you can add a band around your knees to make it a little bit harder. But what you're gonna do is take your dumbbell. You're gonna get your side plank position. The bottom leg is actually gonna be bent with your foot behind you. Top leg's gonna be nice and straight. And this is that kneeling side plank position I want you in. The dumbbell is gonna be in front of you, parallel with your body. You're gonna roll the dumbbell up, driving your elbow behind you. Lift your leg, pause for a second, leg down, then dumbbell down. Make sure the dumbbell, you're not rowing up with the elbow, you're rowing around with the elbow. Then do your leg lift, and then slowly reverse everything. Like I said, if you wanted to make it harder, that band would be right above your knees. Motion's still the same. Around, lift, pause, down, down. And then you would do the other side. But that is a very challenging exercise, especially for the bottom hip and core.
Yeah, complicated.
Just a little bit. Next one, Otis with JC bands. Otis stands for oscillating training, basically for instability stuff, balance. You're gonna take your bands, you're gonna back up, you're gonna balance on one leg. You see me? So I'm gonna stay on my right leg for these, this one side for a moment. But just little quick pulses. You'll do this for 10 seconds. Now I'm facing the band first. Now I'm gonna face sideways, still on my right leg. Quick pulses. It doesn't have to be really big ranges of motion, very quick little minimal ones. 10 seconds. I'm gonna face away. Now you can do palms forward, palms back, palms in, I don't really care. But I'm still on my right leg. Quick little pulses. And finally on the right leg, I'm gonna face the final direction. Quick more pulses.
So
you'll notice that this will be the harder one.
Forward, side, face that way, side that way, and then
Yep. So one leg should do 4 directions. Should be facing forward, facing the one direction, facing behind, and then facing the other direction. Then I would go back to my left leg, same thing. Quick little pulses, facing forward, side, behind, and then the other side. And every position is 10 seconds long. Okay, so that's Otis. Your next one is a super band Zercher narrow squat. I wrote hook the band low. So super band at least like hip height, if not even lower if you want. You're gonna take your super band and you're gonna put your arms inside of it so it's around the crease of your elbows. You're gonna pull, well, your palms are gonna face your face. You're gonna pull apart a little bit just so you bring your shoulders back. Feet are like hip width apart, not normal shoulder width apart with a squat. Hip width apart. And you're gonna go straight down and straight up. Think about breathing in on the way down, out on the way up. If you feel like you're kind of rounding your spine or you're even arching it, let's jam some heel lifts underneath by getting like either some weight plates or something like that. And just jamming it right underneath your heels. Or even honestly wearing thicker sole shoes would help out too. But I like the weight plates. Okay. After that, you have a pull-up hang. I know you said you had a pull-up bar, so that's pretty awesome. Any kind of grip. You could do neutral, you could do palms up, you could do palms forward. But it's literally, get this out of my face. Just you hanging, making sure you set your shoulders down and your legs are in front of you, that hollow position. You kind of look at the video I posted yesterday, you can kind of see the position I want you to hang in. Kind of worked out. Just make sure your shoulders don't start shrugging up towards your ears. Once that happens, you can't control it anymore. Okay. You're done. That's a pull-up hang. Tall kneeling, no money. And use your band again. This time, elbows are pinned to the side, palms are up, and you're just rotating out. So if my chin's nice and neutral, making sure I'm not pushing forward. Chin in, and just rotate. We've done that one before. Make sure a lot of people when they go to rotate out, they flare the ribs. Just lock those ribs down. Dumbbell step-ups. Now, you said you had a bench, right? So we can use the bench, but you're just gonna be stepping on the box, stepping up. Do you need me to show you the dumbbell step-ups at all?
No.
Okay, just make sure it's all one side and then all the other. You're not gonna alternate.
Okay, all one side, okay.
And then you have a single arm dumbbell bench press. You're just gonna be on the bench. The only difference is I don't want your feet on the floor. You would be putting your feet on the bench. That way you can tuck the hips so you can be nice and neutral, and then you'll be pressing up and down. If you don't have the bench available for some reason, or you just want to do it on the floor, that's fine too. I just like the bench because you're able to get a little deeper at the end. But that'll be on each side as well. And then the bench two-spine extension stretch, that one I have to show you a little bit. I'm going to show you with the box, but it's the same thing. So using your bench, I'm just going to show you the box, but elbows are on the bench, palms face each other, kind of like a little praying position. Point your toes out. You're going to shift your butt towards your heels, get your head below the box. Once you're there, you're going to curl behind your head, uncurl the arms, and come back. You should feel a little stretch And the lats as well, some tension in the upper back. Again, you try to get your head past that bench, hold it there, and then move the arms all the way behind your head, resetting, and then coming back to it. Actually, a really good stretch for you. Let's see how tight you're probably feeling. Almost there. You have Dynamax rotational slams, just to make sure you go that one. I know you know regular slams like your 8A, but your rotational slams, that foot's got to pivot. So if I'm going to slam to my right, I'm going to pivot my left foot, slam, up and over, slam. Notice how my hips are leading the motion. The reason I stress this is because people just do this, and they use their back, and then eventually they hurt their back. So it's got to be a pivot with the hips as you slam. Super band bicep curls. So that band that you have hooked the whole time down here, and grab the band where your knuckles are facing up. I don't want to grab it where your palms are facing up. So think palms down, knuckles up, and it's going to curl to you, up and down. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be. You're going to finish your bicep curls. Right after your bicep curls, that should be 20, by the way. You're going to do a single arm farmer carry, kettlebell or dumbbell, it's up to you. Mm-hmm. But hold it at your side. Make sure you don't lean with or away, just nice and tall. 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Should be about 40 yards or so. I just don't know how much room you have. Mm-hmm. So just 30 seconds. Even if you have a little bit, you can literally walk around in a circle. Mm-hmm. I do not care, as long as you stay upright. Mm-hmm. And then you would take your break after your farmer carry. Mm-hmm. And then that is it. Is there anything else you want me to show you for this one before I stop the recording?
No, I think that's all.
Excellent.
All of this makes sense, and then I come to work out 2 days later, and I'm like, I have no idea. That's why I need the recording.